right, Dean. So we watched the Snyder Cut,
Yes, we did.
Justice League.
The Snyder Cut.
Yes,
It's not the Whedon Cut.
not the, what is it called? The Justice League.
The Justice League. That's
Yes.
good.
Yeah. So obviously you're a big DC fan.
Yes.
Yeah. What's your little history with the Justice League version?
The Justice League version. So I watched the Justice League version.
Okay.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I really liked it.
Oh yeah, that's an understatement. Frothed over that film.
Now, in hindsight,
Here we go.
having seen the Snyder Cut, I may have been too high on the initial Justice
You
League.
may have had your DC goggles on
My
pretty
blinders
extensively.
on.
Yes, extensively.
Yeah, that movie in hindsight is not great.
Yeah. So I remember when I watched it, when was it, 2017, I think it was.
Because you weren't negative on it either.
No, it was fine. Like, it really was just a very minor passable film. I gave it 3 stars, like very close.
That's
though.
a recommend.
Yeah, I know, right?
You can't get off scot-free here either.
I know. I thought it was fine.
Okay.
Yeah. But of course, Snyder's Justice League, for anyone who doesn't know about the cut, so why don't you fill us in on why this is a thing?
I mean, basically when Snyder was making his Justice League,
Yes.
which is what became the Justice League,
Yes.
he had a family tragedy, which is very sad, and he
Yes.
had to stop working on it.
Mhm.
And Warner Brothers brought in Avengers Joss Whedon
Yes.
to make Warner Brothers, Avengers.
Yes.
And he changed a lot.
He definitely changed a lot, and you can tell how much he changed when you see this cut.
He completely changed the tone of the film,
The tone, the structure, the characters.
how it looks like. Yeah, there's so much he took out.
Yeah.
Now, I do believe that Warner Brothers did make him have a 2-hour cut.
Yeah.
So,
But the fact that he cut out a lot of stuff from Snyder's cut and then added his own scenes in. He came back in for reshoots for scenes.
yeah.
Yeah, he really wanted to make his version of the film rather than just like put together what Snyder had.
Yeah. And, like what he had was not nearly as good as what Snyder had. So, basically, they released this film, and after some time, people start complaining about it, basically.
They get word of this this Snyder cut that's been put in the back the back lot of Warner Brothers that
Yes.
they don't want to release.
This fully complete version of Justice League called the Snyder Cut. Ray Fisher, who plays Cyborg, was a big proponent of pushing this Snyder Cut.
And after watching the Snyder cut, I can see why.
Yes.
Yes.
Zack Snyder himself obviously
Absolutely.
pushed it very, very hard. Twitter and the fans on Twitter went crazy over that.
Hashtag release the Snyder cut.
Yeah.
It was big.
It was huge.
And it finally happened.
Yeah, but important to note that Snyder actually did have to spend, do you remember how much he spent on this?
Oh, I think it was close to like 80 million.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was a huge amount of money
Yep.
to get this cut ready. So
Yes.
clearly there wasn't a cut just sitting there
No.
ready to be released.
No, he had to put it all together. He came back in and got some reshoots for some extra scenes.
Yes, definitely shot some extra scenes.
Yes, you can definitely tell which ones those are just based off the look of like a Ben Affleck per se.
Hmm.
Extra things added to this movie. Obviously, a 4-hour runtime. HBO Max put it out, as well as putting it out theatrical as well. We obviously watched it on HBO Max.
Is it in theaters?
Yeah, it's part of that HBO Max thing they're doing this year where they're releasing it in theaters and on HBO Max at the same time. They're doing it for all their films this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think it is worth noting as well, had tragedy not struck and Snyder made his film, it would not be a 4-hour version.
No, because
There's no way.
the studios would have put, the kibosh on him saying, you can't make this film entirely 4 hours. You need to cut some stuff. He probably would have got it down to like a 3-hour, 2.5-hour film like he did with Batman vs. Superman.
Yep.
But this way, because it's part of the streaming platform, he wanted full creative control over this. It's like, I'm doing it my way. Do not interfere.
Yep.
He got his vision, which I'm really happy that he got that done. Like,
For sure.
This is what he wanted to do. The director of this film had to walk away from his movie and basically see it turn to something that just was not his vision at all.
That still had his name on it as well.
Exactly. Apparently, he never even watched it. He's like, I can't bring myself to watch this film. But yeah, he got creative control and he made the Snyder Cut. Of course, it stars everyone who's part of the Justice League.
I mean, this cast,
Stacked.
insane.
Yeah, really big. Like, you're watching the opening credits and just name after name after name. And like, the credits are still going and all of a sudden, Willem Dafoe, I'm like, that's right. He's a Knuckleman. He's got to be in this too. It's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously we're going to start off with the positives of this film. I feel like we're going to have a real long conversation about this because you're going to start off, Dean. So what is the good about this? What is so good about this film? What's the positives that you took out of this film?
I mean, I think the biggest positive is that, and this isn't a hot take, is that the characters are more fleshed out. And obviously, if you make a 4-hour, if you double the length of a film, obviously you're going to be able to have much better character arcs.
Yes.
But who cares? Like, yes, they had the time, but they actually used it really well. The character arcs of these characters, Cyborg especially,
And the Flash, I'll put in the Flash as well. Like these guys have just like Cyborg's almost like the main character of this film.
He
did
is.
it so much.
like, I think he is the main character. I think Batman is on screen more.
Yeah.
But I think the main character is Cyborg.
Yes,
he
absolutely.
has the biggest arc.
Yep. I love how Flash is actually used in this film now, as opposed to, a one-note gag in the Justice League.
But even like in the Justice League, his whole role was helping this family. This
So glad
random
that's not part of it.
Oh, and like I'm watching it, and I was waiting for that stuff to come in.
Oh,
I was
really?
like, yeah, because I don't know like how much is new and how much was going to be different. I thought it would be honestly, I thought it was going to be like basically the same film with added scenes throughout that would flesh it out. This is like it's not the same film.
No, it's not.
Like massive plot points are completely different.
Yep.
I think the runtime, like whilst I love this, right? I did not feel the runtime. I've watched it a second time.
Yeah, of course you have.
It is a 4-hour film.
Yeah.
Like you do realize, like it's paced really well, but it is a very, very long film.
Is this part of your good?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is good because I like it.
Okay, good.
Right? I was not
You
bored.
can't get enough.
Yeah, exactly. I was not bored at all.
Make it a 6-hour film. Let's go.
I mean, yeah. What about you, Hendo? What did you like most?
This is a much more coherent, deep dive story for me.
That's another thing. Like you watch this and you see like plot points go after each other, like,
Yeah.
and it makes sense. Whereas you think about the Justice League, I really want to rewatch it just to see how the hell they even tried to get from one plot point to another. Where I know they don't have that scene explaining how.
I have watched like a couple of things on what's the difference between the two films and how they get from point A to point
Yeah.
B. Like how they set up the mother boxes is an absolute joke.
Yeah.
It is pathetic.
Yeah.
This, the way they set it up, the first scene involving Superman, it
I know.
makes it so much better.
I know that first scene where you see the end of Batman versus Superman.
Yeah.
And you just see the effect that
Yeah.
has. It's like, oh, that makes sense.
The villains in this, much better. Steppenwolf has stepped up, definitely. He looks a lot better now and much more menacing. His armor that he has, the moving spikes around
Oh,
him,
it's great.
really good. The inclusion of Darkseid as well.
What did you think of Darkseid?
I think he's definitely that looming presence that's there. Kind of like you're looking at like a Thanos in Avengers kind of thing. Like he's there. And eventually he's going to be there. But this is more of the focus obviously on Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like that Steppenwolf has someone who he's reporting to as well. It's like his master. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas, the previous film, it was, I didn't even understand. Like he just wanted the mother boxes. And that was it.
Yeah.
Because Darkseid is not in the other version, is he?
No.
No, at all.
Is he mentioned? I know I don't think he's
think
even
so.
mentioned. I think the closest we get to a Darkseid mention is in the Nightmare sequence where we see the Darkseid's symbol scorched into the earth.
Yeah. So I think Batman is a lot more grounded now. They've really taken out a lot of his
Jokes.
dopey humor that wasn't at all put into Batman vs Superman. This is definitely the dark and grittier Batman.
And I like how he's different from
Yes.
Batman versus Superman as well.
Yeah,
Because he's learnt from that movie.
absolutely.
Which I think is great. And seeing his interactions with Alfred are great.
Yep.
How good is Alfred in this?
Jeremy Irons is really good. Yeah. The extra scenes they put in with him as well. Like he gets a little bit of humor in as well. I love that Batman calls him his boss as well at one point. That's good. I think I mentioned when we spoke about the previous Justice League that Batman didn't really do anything and he was really just there on the sidelines. And you mentioned like, yeah, he's just a man. Like he can't really be with these superheroes. And fair enough. Like I understand that. In this version, he really is put to good use. Like whatever he needs to do as Batman, he does very well. Like obviously the big important things are obviously left to your Cyborg and your Superman. and all
Yeah,
that.
he's not having, a fist fight with Steppenwolf.
Exactly. He's there doing what Batman can, and it really works well. They really focus on him a lot in this film, purely from a human perspective as well. Like, we relate to him in this movie. Like, you can't relate to Superman and Cyborg and Flash to a degree. Like, Flash has a good arc in regards to, I guess you could say the same with Cyborg, because Cyborg and
you can
Flash,
relate
they do
to
have that
you can relate to
strong,
Cyborg.
like fatherly family arc
Yeah.
that they've got going.
Yeah.
And they are fully fleshed out and really worked well, which is really, really good considering that, the majority of the extra runtime you got really does focus a lot on those particular key scenes as well.
What do you make? I've read just today on Twitter a lot of people accusing Joss Whedon of the racial side of things. That the stuff that he took out is your Ray Fisher's story. Ray Fisher's parents. You got Barry Allen's black future girlfriend being introduced here. The Asian scientist at Star Labs and just all taken out.
Yeah.
Like I mean, obviously I don't know the guy, but is that really what it would be?
It could be a coincidence. I don't know. Doesn't look like it's leaning towards his side though. Yeah,
It's problematic.
it is definitely. We briefly spoke about before we saw the film that we noticed that it was set in a 4:3 aspect ratio.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, this is part of my good.
Yeah.
I did not notice, like I noticed right at the very start when the movie started of the bars on the side, but that was it. And I thought it actually worked much better. And do you know the reason why Snyder wanted to put it in 4:3? Or why people do want to have 4:3 styles for their aspect ratio?
Is it the IMAX of it all?
It is the IMAX,
Yep.
because you get more of the top and bottom.
Yep.
So he wanted to include that because obviously seeing this on IMAX would be quite a spectacle.
Yeah.
So it didn't take anything away from me that I was watching a 4:3 as opposed to a 16:9. And I obviously watched this with my wife, and she didn't even notice it. She didn't realize that the cut was off the side. She just watched the movie.
How?
I don't know. I think it worked much better as more of I guess the way Snyder intended it, this slow-mo 4-hour cinematic experience that I'm watching at home. I didn't. Once I saw the credits at the start and it was there, I didn't even notice it after that.
Yeah, and I think why it works is because most people's TVs now are so big.
Yes.
Right? It doesn't matter if you lose the sides.
Yeah.
Like, you still get a very big picture to watch.
Yeah.
I also really like how Superman is treated in this film. I think because Justice League is so short,
Yes.
you really don't have time to miss Superman. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like he is in Justice League so quickly.
Yeah.
Whereas in this, he's not in it for ages.
Well, to be fair, this is a 4-hour film.
Yeah.
The Flash isn't even introduced for the first hour
Yeah.
in the film. And I did recognize, I think it might have been maybe 2.5 hours in the film. I'm like, oh yeah, we're still going to get to the Superman part. I just didn't even click
Yeah.
that was even part of it still.
Yep.
I think that how they deal with Superman in this film is a lot better as well. There's definitely a lot more focus on Lois Lane's grief as well and what she's going through, which is good. The way they bring Superman back in this, a couple little bit of touches here and there compared to the original version or the Justice League, that works a lot better. The setup for future things to happen in this film, as they goes along in this film, pay off tremendously. I mean, I'm not going to spoil what they are.
I mean, are we not? Like, no spoilers on this?
I mean, we can
It's
start.
so hard.
We can do a spoiler. We can do a spoiler talk now. We can go for it. I mean, we've spoken fairly well. Hang on, before we do that, why don't we talk about anything that's bad about the film that isn't a spoiler? I'll tell you.
What about certain people's inclusion into this film who weren't in the other one? Is that a spoiler?
One of the big bad things for me in this film is the epilogue. I did not like the epilogue at all.
At all.
At all. None of it.
Now, I did watch this last night, but it was very late.
Yeah.
Can we talk about scenes in the epilogue without spoiling it?
Are you talking about an inclusion of a particular person?
It's not just that, but in my mind, I'm thinking of two scenes. The nightmare scene and the scene of Bruce on his deck. Is there other scenes to the epilogue?
No, I think one of the epilogue scenes was the end credit sequence of the first Justice League. Look, we'll leave that for spoilers.
Okay.
Anything for you that stood out as particularly bad?
Bad.
Yeah, see, I knew you'd do this.
Can I say some more good?
No.
How good is Desaad? The, Steppenwolf's person he reports to.
See, I thought that was Darkseid for a while.
Oh,
and then
really?
Then when he mentioned Darkseid, and then Darkseid came up, and they're like, oh, this is Darkseid. Yeah, he's okay.
I thought he was good. I quite liked him.
Now that hashtag release the Snyder Cut has been completed, there is now the hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
Now.
Which is a lot bigger ask.
Yes.
We're going from, release the Snyder Cut, which did have a lot of film already filmed.
Yes.
Okay, yes, they spent $80 million, a few more scenes and freshening up the CGI, but a lot of that was already filmed.
Yes.
Okay, now they're saying restore the Snyderverse and make Justice League 2, Justice League 3, make a Cyborg origin story, a Flash origin movie.
Get into it now.
Make a Batfleck solo film.
Affleck's not in for this, which is disappointing because after watching the original Justice League, I wouldn't have been interested in watching a Justice League 2 or an extended universe of this, I would be keen to watch it from now.
I'm beyond keen, obviously, but I'm really, really keen to watch this story play out. Like, forget about the origins and the Batman solo film. I just want a Justice League 2 and 3. Or at least
and
the 2.
3.
At least the 2. Just give me a Justice League
give
2.
me the third one, please.
Like, finish it up. But the way they finish it here, which feels like reshot scenes, is setting up a sequel.
Yes.
And it's like, why? You know you're not going to do it. Like, Snyder has come out and said, nah, this is it. I'm done with it.
But that's the thing. Snyder did these shoots for that. This wasn't part of his original cut.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's like, if you're shooting this stuff, setting up this next movie that you know is never going to happen, why?
Why? Yep.
That is one of the, that's the big reason I did not like the epilogue. I was like, well, this is going to lead to nowhere, and I know this is new stuff.
Yeah.
Very
for sure it's new stuff.
Yeah, very frustrating.
Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah, absolutely. But the runtime wasn't an issue for me. I did spread it out over 2 nights. I watched the first 2 hours and then the next 2 hours. I guess the parts, like the part 1, part 2, they weren't necessary. I didn't think that they needed to be there. I do know that they were originally going to put it as
4-part series.
4 1-hour basically episodes.
Yep.
But then there's 6 parts and an epilogue. I don't understand.
I mean, they would have obviously changed the cuts.
They didn't.
But all those parts did for me was because all the parts that have a subtext, like all the king's horses. I was just like waiting for who's going to say it.
You're like
there it is.
Yeah, you're like DiCaprio. Once upon a time, Hollywood. Yep, there it is. There it is. And even one of them was like, it was the first line of the part. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was unnecessary. It didn't need to be there. But it's not like
no, that's
outrage.
Barely a bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, honestly, I don't have too much bad to say about this film. Like, I can't pinpoint anything that's outright awful with this film. It's a long run time. You could trim off the epilogue for sure. Trim out some bits and pieces that just cut. Lee Snyder, maybe chill on the slow-mo. How about that?
No, I didn't mind it.
No, there was moments where, like, there's Lois Lane walking down the street in slow-mo. I'm like, okay.
It's like her feet as well.
Yeah, I'm like, stop.
Yep.
No,
not stop. Speed up.
Yeah, exactly. And I will say the song choices, like some of them, they just didn't click with me. There wasn't
Really?
Yeah, just some of them just like, okay.
Songs or score?
Whatever. Like either the song or the score at certain parts, I was like, it's not really affecting me the way Snyder is intending it to. Not really bad. Just like, okay, he could have picked maybe a different song or something else, but
I like the score to this. I thought it was good. I thought the end credits song of Hallelujah would garner some criticism, but I did since read that he used that song because his daughter Autumn.
Yes.
It was, it was
her
favorite song. They played it at her funeral, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's
fine.
Yep, perfectly fine with that.
You do use Zach.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Yeah. I did see a lot of people complaining that every single time Wonder Woman was on screen, it was just that, like every single time. I didn't even notice it, honestly.
I didn't notice it.
Not a problem for me.
No, that was fine.
But yeah, we've obviously said a lot of good things about the film. A couple of minor things that we didn't like about the film, or I didn't like about the film. I said to you before we even watched this film, giving the big praise it already had with the fact that at least everyone is on agreement that this is better than Justice League. And I said to you, you already froth over Justice League. There is no way in hell you give this less than 4.5, and I guarantee you will smash out a 5-star. And the fact that you've come in today like, yeah, I'm nearly finished my second watch. I'm like, oh, well. I mean, that just answers my question. But Dean, what do you give the Snyder League? What do you give?
The Snyder League?
Yeah, the Snyder League. What do you give Zack Snyder's Justice League?
This is everything I wanted, right?
You said that about the other one.
This is everything I wanted that I didn't realize that I wanted, right? This makes me embarrassed at my initial review of Justice League because in retrospect, in comparison, that film is trash. Like, you think of everything I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, man, that was bad. Like all those jokes, which at the time I was like, yeah.
Imagine
Justice League.
If only you could be the Flash and travel back to 2017 and tell 2017 Dean, that 5-star film you just gave, it's trash. Trust me, it's trash.
But here's the thing, like I got enjoyment out of it back then. Isn't that a good thing?
It was back then, but
it was back then.
I feel like
and now I've got a new film to get enjoyment out of.
You had those DC blinders on, then you just saw Batman's on the screen, Batman and Superman, Batman and Wonder Woman all together. Like, Jesus, instant 5 stars.
I mean, I've watched Batman vs Superman a few times, and that is firmly 4.5 for me. I think this is better. I am going 5 stars.
Yes, of course you are.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
I mean, it's really, really good. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
You watch it and you're just like, I'm going to watch this film so many times.
See, here's the thing. I'm not going to watch this many, many times.
How dare you?
I enjoyed the film. Lots of good stuff about it. Action's really good. The runtime does become an issue. There are several things throughout the film where it could have dropped the runtime down by at least half an hour, 45 minutes. I understand this is the Snyder cut, and he's basically put every single thing that he had made into this film and more. And he did want that creative control where he wanted to just put it all out there. But if you look at it from an actual cohesive cut down movie, put it down to maybe 3 hours, I feel like it would have been a lot better. It is much better than the Justice League. I fear that if I watch that film again, I will considerably drop that down in a star rating. It definitely would not hit 3 stars now. But for me, this film was very entertaining. I'm genuinely surprised at how much I did enjoy this film. Strong 4 stars.
Nice.
Yes.
Very good.
But yes, we've given our rating on the film. Why don't we get into some spoiler talk if there's anything to talk about now. But here we are. Spoilers right now.
After this, there is no turning back.
I strongly recommend caution.
I don't like Joker.
Nah.
Like,
There was articles and opinions that this is the best Joker Batman.
and maybe
I'm
because
like,
you told me that before I watched it, and I went in with actual, like, good expectations of this Joker bit.
Yeah.
And, like, you watch the whole film, you watch 4 hours basically, and you haven't seen Joker, and I'm like, wait, Joker's going to be in this.
Did you see the trailer that he made a very brief appearance in at the end? Or any images of him
I saw the images with the long hair, and
in like from the movie?
I don't know. Maybe I just saw the Jesus thing.
Because the footage they had in the trailer was Batman in his apocalyptic nightmare getup, like walking over to Joker, who's there in his police vest,
Yep.
laughing at him. So when I noticed that, that's how it's going to look like,
Yeah.
and it's kept going and going. I'm like, are they actually doing this as a part of further down the track?
Yeah.
Like this looks like it's the apocalypse that happened in the BVS.
Yep.
Like, is this going to be a dream sequence that he
Yep.
has midway through the film as what could happen?
Yep.
I was kind of on the right track where it fast forwards in the epilogue. What do you get? You get Lex Luthor has escaped from the prison and he's talking to
That's right. You get that scene on the boat, which is in Justice League.
with Joe Manganiello, I think his name
Whatever
is.
it is. Deathstroke.
Yeah, Deathstroke, yes. But then that's
Who looks awesome, by the way.
He does. And then you get to the additional scenes
Yep.
with, the nightmare post-apocalyptic thing
Yeah.
and Batman talking to Marvin the Martian hunter person. Marvin the Martian?
Martian Manhunter.
I didn't like that additional scene they had in the film where he was Lois
let's-
Lane.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what? What is that?
It was odd in hindsight. Like, the first time I watched it, I'll be honest, when he walks out and changes, I was like, oh, it's Martian Manhunter. How good's this?
Like, is he Martha Kent the whole time?
No, but in hindsight, when you watch that scene again and you know that it's Martian Manhunter talking to Lois, it loses its impact.
Like, what is the purpose of him doing that? Is he trying to get her to...
He's trying to get her to step out of her grief and come back to the
I thought
living,
it had something to do
basically.
with getting Superman back.
Well, but how would he know?
I don't know. I don't know who this person is.
Well, it's the general from the other films. Like, he is...
Yeah, I don't remember those.
You don't remember that actual guy?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, he is a character in Batman vs. Superman.
Okay.
I think he's in Man of Steel as well, but maybe not. He's a character who is since been revealed to be Martian Manhunter in disguise.
Okay.
But, like, so they have a relationship. Lois Lane and the human form that he takes, Martian Manhunter,
Yeah.
already have a relationship.
Okay.
So you could argue that this guy has a care for her, has seen that she's struggling, and has come to pull her out of her grief.
Okay. When you've got Martha and Lois talking in a really good scene between them, and then it turns out it's him, I'm like, like you said, it kind of lost its moment.
Yeah. But I really liked that last scene. Like, I don't like it because they're just deliberately teasing us with a future film that probably will never happen.
Yeah, that's why I didn't like it at all.
But I like that scene. I think that scene is really good. But that nightmare scene, very odd choice of people that are there. Why is Mira there? Why is Amber Heard being called back up after all the shit that has been revealed with her and Johnny Depp? People are saying recast her. She should not be in this. They've picked her out as this character. Amber, we want you to come back for reshoots. Why?
Because are they really trying to throw that, Aquaman's already dead, Wonder Woman wasn't there, she's probably dead. They're really trying to set up that Superman's gone bad because Lois Lane has died. And really it seems like it was Batman's fault. Just by the way they were going with it there.
You obviously picked up that Lois is pregnant.
Yes, with the very quick shot of the pregnancy test
And they do mention it again. There is a second. Like, I saw the pregnancy test and I was like, oh my God, she's pregnant. Not that a pregnancy test means that, but let's be honest, in a film it normally does.
Yes, it does.
They make a mention to it later. And I think people are saying, well, the reason that, Superman actually came back is that he can see a Kryptonian in Lois.
Yes.
Right. So I like that. Now, I think Snyder's come out and said, in the second and third films, I wanted Superman's son to become the next Batman.
Okay.
And all this sort of stuff. And he dies and then he blames Batman for it and all this sort of crap. Which is, who knows how that would go.
Yeah.
It all sounds...
But the end part also is semi-revealed in the quick flash that Cyborg has just before the Flash opens up the mother box.
Yeah, which I think is so important because initially you're like, you can just write it off as this is Bruce Wayne having nightmares about worst case scenarios, right? But Cyborg has this same vision.
Yes.
So I don't think this is a dream. I think this is legit.
What happens down the track.
What will happen that we'll likely never see. Putting Joker there is odd. I thought Deathstroke there was cool. Did you know who the other person was?
It was Flash.
No, it wasn't.
But that's the same person who travels back in Batman vs Superman.
It's not. It's a character called Atom.
But that was Ezra Miller.
That's not Ezra Miller. But in Batman vs Superman, that is Ezra Miller.
Because they looked identical. I was like, well, that's...
I know. I looked at it and I was like, even I was like, oh, that's Flash. And Ethan was like, nah, it's Adam. I was like, seriously? And I've looked up, it's Adam.
Okay.
It's not Ezra Miller's Flash. I thought it was very odd because they look very similar.
Yeah, so you got Atom, Cyborg, Mira, who's got a different accent apparently.
Yeah, that was weird.
I don't remember. It was obviously the accent changed from Aquaman.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird choice. But...
Yep, Deathstroke and Joker. And I want to see more Deathstroke. He looks great.
Yeah.
He would be great.
Especially seeing how he has a problem with Bruce Wayne, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then in the next scene, they're teaming up. So, okay, what's happened in between there?
Wait, who are you saying has a problem with Bruce Wayne?
Because Lex Luthor obviously has a problem with Superman.
Yeah.
And he said, you want to get... Oh, no, maybe Deathstroke has a problem with Superman because, like, you want to get Superman.
Deathstroke has a problem with Batman.
Yeah.
And the reason he's saying, like, his name's Bruce Wayne is so that Deathstroke can kill him.
Yeah, but the next scene, they're together, teaming up. Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay, let's see. I would be interested to see what happened there.
I'll be very interested.
But I feel like it's just the whole world's gone to shit. We need to band together, which is kind of what Batman was saying to Joker, like, we got to team up right now. Like, I will kill you one day, but right now we need to work together.
What do you make of the F-bombs thrown into this?
Didn't need to be there.
I agree.
That last one with Batman, right? I'm like, out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, you're showing how angry and ready you are to kill this guy. Don't need to do that.
Nah. Yeah, it really took me out of it. Like, Batman, you never see him swear.
Yeah. There was another, I think Cyborg said the F-bomb halfway through the film as well. Yeah. Wasn't needed.
Violence.
Definitely a lot more violent now. There's obviously a decapitation there. That's all CGI. Like, in terms of actual violent stakes, not much. It's really just CGI violence.
I really don't think it's violent at all.
There's a lot of like blood splatters.
It's rated
walls.
MA.
Is it?
I'll tell you now.
Has to be the language as well.
I'll tell you now. My 6-year-old watched this.
Yeah.
I was watching it, like, the violence is fine. Like, I was not uncomfortable ever with the violence there.
No, it was perfectly fine.
Yeah. Think that'll do it, Hendo?
I think that'll do it. Yeah. I think we had a good discussion about Snyder's Justice League.
Yes.
Very impressed with what he did.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah, so I see that this is in the IMDb top 250. It'll be interesting to see if it stays.
Yeah, I mean, I did see it came in at like 85 or something. It's already dropped down to like 130, but we'll just see what happens, Obviously, we're on the IMDb top 250 journey, so...
Maybe one day we'll discuss it.
Might snag it up quickly,
we'll
I reckon.
have a 4-hour video on it.
We'll see. All right, well, if you want to check out any more of our 2021 reviews, we've got plenty of links over there, down there. Keep on clicking, check them out. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe, anything you want to do will help us out. We really appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much for checking out this review.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.